All right, everybody. 2020 is here. Look, it's going to be a big year for movies. Let's talk top 10 movies of 2020 coming up. All right, Darksiders, so let's get into my most anticipated films of 2020. And if you are new here, welcome to the community. We have discussions around our favorite TV shows and movies, and we have an amazing live stream every Sunday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mark your calendar, subscribe, do whatever you need to do, hit the notification bell because you need to be there. I want to say something really quick before we get started because this is an issue of respect, and I've heard a lot of other YouTubers do this, and I kind of want to do the same thing. And I just want to say that this is my opinion, right? This is just my list. Your list might be different than mine. Everybody has a difference of opinion. No list is right. No list is wrong. That's ridiculous. Of course my list is right. You read the title, right? My list is better than yours. So hopefully you have the same things on your list, because if you don't, then it's obvious that you don't know what you're talking about. And that's the way it is. Of course, I'm just kidding, you guys. This is my list, but I am interested to know what you think about my list, and I want to know what you are most looking forward to in 2020. Now, let's go. Now, we have to start probably with Tenet. I think everybody is excited about that. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan, even though no one seems to know what this movie is about. And I did do some digging, and I haven't a clue. Apparently, Nolan is really keeping it close to the vest as to what this movie is about, and all we can go on is the definition of Tenet on the internet, which seems to be a devotion by a group of people or an organization to an idea or belief. And that's all we have to go on. But again, it's Christopher Nolan. And for me, if it's Christopher Nolan, I'm going to watch it. And I'm not even talking about because of what he did with the Dark Knight series. I'm talking about one movie. You probably know what that is, and that's Inception. That's all I need to know. So I'm definitely looking forward to that in 2020. And I'm really, really interested to know what he's going to do with this work, because nobody knows what this movie is about. Next, The Eternals. Now, here's why I am really excited about The Eternals, and people are, I think, a little bit skeptical about this, not only for the star power, and it does have some very strong performers in it, but for really what The Eternals can do for the MCU. And you guys know that I'm a big MCU fan. Obviously, look behind me. So why I think The Eternals is so important is it really sets up some things that are really dynamic for the MCU going forward. Number one, I think it's the best gateway, the best avenue to bring in the X-Men, because we're going to get some explanations, or at least I hope, around some things concerning the X-Men and the Eternals. And it's also a great setup for very, very powerful heroes to be introduced into the MCU. And I'm not talking about just street level heroes, no disrespect to those folks, but like Omega level or even Celestial level heroes. So if the Eternals is done right, it's a good primer to really open the MCU up to some amazing stories and heroes. So I'm really excited and looking forward to that. And I think it's going to be much better than what people expect. So let's talk about A Quiet Place. So I'm really excited about A Quiet Place too. And what intrigues me most about this is the story build. I'm really interested to see kind of what they do and how they build on the story from before, and if they are also able to keep that same suspense level while telling or crafting a good story. So we know we have Krasinski back in the director's chair for this, so I'm really excited about that. But my biggest anticipation about this film is how they build the story and if they are able to keep a very strong story with the same level of tension. So I'm really looking forward to A Quiet Place too. Next is Wonder Woman 1984, and I'm really excited about this for the story build, and then just the classic matchup. That's really what I want to see, of Kristen Wiig playing Cheetah going against Wonder Woman. And I wasn't super excited about her in the role, but now the more I see, kind of the more we see and learn about the film, I'm much more excited about having her in this role. I think actually she's going to be good, and that classic matchup between Cheetah and Wonder Woman, I'm really excited for. Like, if you remember the Super Friends, and you know what I'm talking about, how kind of each one of the Justice League had their nemesis, and Wonder Woman's nemesis, one of them was Cheetah. So I really want to see how they do that as well. And plus, I want to see what the special effects are. The special effects in the trailer look fantastic. And if this is anywhere close to as good as the first Wonder Woman, this should be fantastic. I love the first Wonder Woman. I think it's DC's hallmark movie, to be honest. I think she is really the linchpin holding it all together. So I cannot wait to see what they do with the second Wonder Woman movie. I'm also looking forward to Godzilla vs. Kong. And really the main reason for this is I really want to see who they have come out on top here. Plus, I'm also interested to see how this film comes across visually and how they navigate the scaling between the two creatures, because typically when you see them on screen, Godzilla looks much bigger than Kong. And I also want to see how they navigate the offensive capabilities of both of these guys, as Godzilla really should have more weapons at his disposal than King Kong is. So honestly, the only reason I want to see this is for the matchup. I want to see those two go head to head, and I want to see who they actually bring out on top. And I'm also interested to see how fans react to this. So that's why I'm looking forward to Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong. So I'm also really looking forward to No Time to Die, especially because it's Daniel Craig's last rendition of Bond. And to me, he is my favorite Bond, even more so than Connery. And I know that's going to make some people mad because they really just see him as the quintessential Bond. Some people like him even more than Roger Moore, but Daniel Craig is my favorite. I'm also interested to see how they transition him out of the franchise and bring the new Bond in. And I think the African American or the black woman in there, that's the 00, I think she is the new one, the new face of the franchise. I could be wrong about that. So if someone knows something that I don't know or something I didn't see, let me know about that in the comments. But I do want to see how they execute the story and really bring him out of the franchise with respect, because he's been such a big figure within the Bond movies. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, I'm also looking forward to the Fate of the Furious for a number of different reasons. I want to see kind of how they wrap things up, and I hear that there's going to be some CGI work going on with Paul Walker and his brother. I really don't know how I feel about that. Actually, yeah, I do. I don't think that's a good idea, but I want to see how they pull it off. But I'm also really interested to see if they tie up a lot of loose ends, like will there be justice for Han? I know a lot of people want to see what's going on with that, but I do want to see how they continue to build on the story of the Fast and the Furious. So this one does have me intrigued. I don't think this is going to be a great movie, but I do think it's going to be a fun movie. So I want to see kind of how they execute it, because fans have really been waiting for this next film. So I'm anxious to see what happens in this next movie. So I'm also really looking forward to Black Widow as well. And this is a movie I think we should have gotten a while ago. I'm still a little salty about what happened to her in Endgame, because I think that she is really one of the more fascinating Avengers that we have. Does she have the power profile of a lot of the other Avengers? She doesn't, but I think her backstory is really interesting. So I want to see what they do with this. And I also am happy that they're giving her kind of a proper send-off in case we don't see her again. I wouldn't mind seeing her again somehow, some way, Marvel. Wouldn't mind you bringing her back, but that's just me. So I really am interested to see what they do with this story. And from what I understand, we might get a setup for some things to come in future Marvel movies as well from her story, even though this is set in the past. So really looking forward to that. I really hope it's a proper send-off to Scarlett Johansson and Black Widow's character. Also really looking forward to The Invisible Man. I'm a little bit nervous about that because the budget is a little small for something like that. I think it's like $1.2 million, but I absolutely love Elizabeth Moss. She is excellent in The Handmaid's Tale. She was great in Us. She was great in Mad Men. So I love her, and I can't wait to see what she brings to this classic H.G. Wells loose adaptation. And that's another thing. I want to see what they do with this story as they've kind of modernized it. So I'm interested to see how they execute and how familiar it feels to us, with also bringing us something new. Not to mention the fact that we get to see one of the classic monsters on the big screen. And we know that Universal was also trying to build their own monster universe. Didn't turn out too well, but I do want to see what they do with this work. So I can't wait to see The Invisible Man. So I'm really looking forward to Mulan. And I wasn't initially. I'm always nervous about animation to live adaptation films because they don't always transition well. And I really wasn't sure what to expect here, especially a Disney property such as Mulan being brought to live action. And I wasn't really sure how they were going to make this interesting, but it does look like this film is going to have a little bit of a darker tone. And when I saw the folks that were in this, then I got really excited. I mean, we have Jet Li, we have Donnie Yen, who is absolutely one of my favorites, and really a whole host of a primarily Asian cast. So I was really excited to see what they were going to do with this. There's one person, though, that I wish that was in this film, and he plays in Warrior. I can't remember his name in Warrior, but his real name is Hoon Lee. So, or Han Lee, or Hoon Lee. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but I really would have loved to have seen him in this as well, because I think he's just such a good actor. Also a little bit nervous about the director here. I really would have loved to have seen this work done by someone like Ang Lee, who did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Even Zhang Yimou, I think that's how you pronounce it, who directed House of Flying Daggers. I just think their directing styles is perfect for a film like Mulan, but I hope that we do get that type of feel that we normally get from Chinese directors that really makes a lot of their martial arts, kind of fantasy martial arts films really dynamic. I don't know much about the director of this film, but I hope that they can pull it off. And I will say, what I've seen from the trailers, the film does look beautifully done, and it does look really well shot. So I'm looking forward to Mulan as well. All right, Darksiders, so what I missed, because I know there's something out there that somebody right now is saying, Al, how could you not have this on your list? So let me know what you think. What are your top 10 movies you're looking forward to in 2020? Now, before you go, make sure you check out the videos right over here. More great stuff on the channel. And if you are new here, consider subscribing and joining the Dark Side community. I'll see you on the next video.